morning. It's Friday Eve. Yes. It's 8 o'clock. It's May 1st.
It is.
We have a lot going for us today.
We do have a lot going for us today. That's Abby Fridman. Today is her 2 years, count 'em, 2-year anniversary.
No, it flies.
Cue the music. No, I guess not.
You really scared me.
I guess not.
Okay, geez. Yeah, it's been fun, and we're going to continue to have fun today.
We are going to continue to have fun. We've got 2 full hours to get through, so let's run down what we have brewing for you this Thursday morning.
All right, so coming up, are you in the market for some new tech finds? We'll be looking ahead to the spring Bonanza sale being hosted by Sun King Sustainable Solutions and some of the items that you can find.
Yeah, and later we are headed to France for the JCC Center Stage's upcoming production of An American in Paris. We're going to be sitting down with some of the cast members to learn more about that show.
And then we'll be celebrating National Call-in Sick Day because we're leaving.
Yep, that's it. We're just leaving.
We're going to be talking about some of the best and worst excuses to get out of a day's work.
I feel like today's the day for it, too. You come up with the plan today. Summer Friday, start the weekend early. Yes. Sorry, boss.
Not feeling great.
Not feeling so
I don't know.
hot.
Something's not right up here.
I don't know if you can tell in the sound of my voice.
It's so bad.
Before all of that, we do want to get a check of some of your top local headlines. Stephanie Joseph has your Thursday morning news break.
Well, good morning there, guys. We begin with breaking news this morning. An 18-year-old is in custody after a double shooting on the city's north side that left a 17-year-old fighting for her life this morning. Now, police say that shooting happened just after midnight Wednesday in the area of Alphonse and Thomas Streets. We're told a 30-year-old man was on the front porch when he was shot, while a 17-year-old girl was inside and was accidentally hit by a bullet. The man is expected to survive, but the teen is still in critical condition. The suspect vehicle took off from the scene and a search began in Brockport. Police are arresting the suspect, 18-year-old Michael Garcia, after an hours-long standoff outside an apartment on North Main Street. Garcia is facing multiple charges, including attempted murder and criminal possession of a weapon. He is set to be arraigned this morning, and we're told more people could be charged as that investigation continues. And we do have a traffic alert for you this morning over in Irondequoit. You're taking a look here. There is a crash on Route 104 westbound at 590 southbound. No word yet here on any significant slowdowns, but just be mindful if you do have to head in this direction. We'll see if we can take a look at drive times. You do see it's a minor slowdown at this point. We are working to learn more details about this, and we'll bring you the latest if we learn more. 2 people are recovering after a crash on Rochester's west side sent a car slamming into a church. It happened just before 10 in the area of Campbell and Ames Streets. Investigators say a driver ran a red light before hitting another car and then crashed into a church. Thankfully, though, no one was inside. We're told there was some structural damage to the building. Meantime, thankfully, no one was hurt after a fire damaged 8 apartments in Wayne County. Crews were called to Drumlin Estates in Marion around 4 yesterday afternoon, where they found flames and heavy brown smoke. Authorities say the fire was under control in about 45 minutes and everyone made it out safely. The Red Cross is assisting displaced residents, and the cause of this fire remains under investigation. Officials credit the building's construction with preventing the fire from spreading further. A former Livingston County prosecutor is now facing charges himself, appearing before a judge in Mount Morris. 30-year-old John Francisco is charged with official misconduct, accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a crime victim. Prosecutors say Francisco sent sexual text messages and inappropriately touched the victim inside a conference room at the DA's office. Francisco has pled not guilty to the charges. Francisco left the Livingston County DA's office in mid-December and also worked in the Wayne County DA's office from December 16th to the 23rd. His attorney declined to comment after his court appearance. For all these top stories and any updates, be sure to visit 13web.com. Back to you.
All right, Steph, thanks. We're going to switch gears now and get a little look at the forecast today because we're expecting some higher temperatures and a couple showers, too.
We certainly are. Meteorologist Marty Snyder with us now with what we can expect as the day plays out. Marty, I'm certainly hoping we're not talking about a similar weather story to what we saw earlier this week.
It looks like we could have a couple warnings by the end of the day, but not quite as widespread, not quite as strong as what we saw then. So at least some similarities, but a lot of differences as well. The timing may be similar towards the end of the day, late afternoon, early evening time frames. We'll be watching that. It's mainly the system that's well to our west right now. You can see that scattered activity well upstream from us. We have been seeing a few little isolated showers pass through, very, very limited, and a lot of that continues to draw to the east and away from us. So for today, we're going to see the cloud cover overall win out. Can't rule out a couple little breaks here and there in some of those clouds. About 65 at noon, probably closing in on 70 for a high temperature today. And it's towards the end of the day, late afternoon, heading into the evening. That's when a few of those thunderstorms will pop up, maybe some slightly stronger ones west of Rochester versus east. And then for the longer term, we cool down a little bit into Saturday, down to 55 then, and numbers likely resume that little bit of an increase heading into early next week, back maybe closer to 70 by the early part of next week. But again, it's later today, late afternoon, early evening that we're going to be watching closely for that risk of some stronger thunderstorms during that time frame.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
All right, let's go off the top now. Start with some stories that have piqued our interest. I'm going to kick things off with something that sounds like it's right out of a horror movie. Scratching, cracks in the ceiling, and raccoons literally hanging out of access panels in the house. This was the reality for one Brooklyn family, and they've been dealing with it for more than a year. Getting rid of these animals has only been half the battle. This woman, Alice Ann, and her family are in Brooklyn, and their nightmare started in 2022, right after a neighbor purchased a nearby property and started some construction. However, when the city issued a stop work order to the property owner, that site was abandoned. Holes and gaps in the unfinished structure created the perfect entry point for wildlife and even a little playground. Soon after, raccoons found their way into the family's ceiling. It started with noise, and then one night the family woke up to find a raccoon actually hanging out of a ceiling hatch. It gets worse, though. In the winter of 2023, 5 baby raccoons were born directly above their bathroom. The family says they have tried everything. They've contacted the Department of Buildings, city council members, even the Department of Health. However, because the raccoons aren't classified the same way as rats or other regulated pests, she was told basically, it's not our problem. Multiple requests to the neighbor to seal up the property went unanswered, and the family finally took them to court. In 2023, a judge ordered the property owner to fix the problem, but the damage had already been done. Even after getting in exterminators to get the raccoons out, signs of the invasion remain. Urine stains, feces, and holes all throughout the ceiling. The family lost all of their insulation. Some parts of the house have been chewed, raising concerns about fire risks and long-term structural damage. They filed a claim with their insurance and were denied. They said the policy does not cover damage from nesting animals, infestations, or their waste.
Well,
not a great story.
No.
Right? This
No.
story originally reported from CBS News. They reached out. The company has not commented. A public adjuster says the cases can get a little tricky. The raccoon damage is often excluded from standard policies, but he said that this is a pretty serious case. Raccoon urine and feces considered toxic, and delays in cleanup can actually lead to some bigger health risks as well. So, long story short, these people are in quite a situation.
yeah.
A little fun fact for you that I didn't know about. My very kind neighbor who lives across the street told us as soon as we moved into our house that we had raccoons living in our chimney that were thankfully removed by the time we got there.
Well,
But
was
yeah,
a
he
new
was
welcome
like,
party.
oh yeah, we were sitting there and they were just walking across the roof.
housewarming.
Apparently so, but they don't live there anymore. But how horrible is that?
Well, I kind of been in a similar situation.
Really?
Yeah, before you started. I had a squirrel problem.
Oh,
And came home from work one day, and a squirrel had chewed through the bathroom ceiling and was peeking his little head out. No
sorry,
joke.
It's not funny. I'm sorry.
No joke.
Not funny.
That was fixed. They said the squirrels had been removed. We evicted them. Not 6 months later, on the opposite side of the house in the spare bedroom, another squirrel came through.
No.
In the ceiling.
Same bathroom?
Would wave. No, not in
Oh.
the bathroom, in the spare bedroom.
Spare bedroom.
This time. Came through and would wave. And now that is a leaky spot for whatever reason. Whatever the squirrel did, he did so much damage because we had people come in. He put it in a pool. We had people come in They fixed that. They fixed the hole. They apparently fixed the roof where the squirrels they thought were getting in. I am convinced on very quiet nights, I can still hear them in the walls. I'm not joking.
No.
I'm dead serious. I think there still is one living in the walls. The cats know where it is.
The ghost of the squirrel.
The ghost of the squirrel. All right, let's move on to another story. I'm going to be talking about a story that's getting a lot of attention. Bill Belichick, the legendary coach with 6 Super Bowl rings, now at the University of North Carolina, is back in the headlines. But this time, it's got nothing to do with football. This is about his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. You made a sigh as soon as I brought this up, so I can't wait.
It's taken over my social media.
Well, that's the thing. Their relationship has a 49-year age gap, and it's been making waves since it went public mid-2024. But over the past few weeks, those waves have really turned into a storm. It started last weekend with a CBS Sunday interview. Hudson interrupted a reporter a number of times mid-question, shutting down any talk of how they met, saying, quote, "We're not talking about this." That was just one instance, too. Belichick later defended her, claiming the interview was supposed to focus on his book and only that. But CBS said there were no limits set and nothing was off the table. That moment, her stepping in to speak for him, has led to even bigger questions now. Critics, including a former Patriot, have publicly wondered whether Belichick is still sharp enough to coach. They're questioning his judgment, his decision-making, and how much influence his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, really has. Some, like Megyn Kelly, have even described their relationship as, quote, weird, calling it close to elder abuse, pointing to her controlling presence in that interview and saying if the genders were reversed, people would be outraged. And while all this is playing out in the press, Hudson has been building a fortune. Since going public with Belichick, she's reportedly acquired an $8 million real estate portfolio, snapping up multifamily homes, luxury properties in the Boston area, and all through LLC listings her as the borrower. She's not only managing her own investments, but she's also getting involved in Belichick's professional life. And that has people talking. Some see this as a power move. Others are saying, nope, red flag. Whatever you make of this, one thing is clear. Like you said, when a legendary coach and a 24-year-old partner and an $8 million portfolio and a CBS interview all collide, it creates a story that is not going away. Every other story on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram.
Well, yeah. I woke up this morning. First thing I do is check all the stuff I missed. And Bill Belichick was trending. And my first thought was, oh, my God, something happened.
Yeah.
Not the case. This has blown up.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Look.
What is it the age gap?
Oh, who cares? You know, who cares? Like, 49 years, 49-year age gap, whatever. Date who you want to date, love who you want to love, blah, blah, blah. We've seen his posts where he's like, I told her to, or I support her defending me or whatever. I mean, if I went in to an interview with, my husband or my boyfriend or whoever, and, they thought that, like, somebody was overstepping and maybe I was, like, just willing to answer I don't know. I'd want somebody to stand up for me. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's not for me to decide.
Yeah.
I see all sides of it.
Why aren't you standing up for yourself, though? I think that's
one of
the questions.
Absolutely, yeah. But I don't know. Maybe in the moment he was like, I don't know. I don't care. And maybe she cared. I don't know. It's...
That is fair. That's fair, and it's plausible. But listen.
I feel like I'm being interviewed.
When you're a public figure like that, and your relationship is a spectacle, because I'm sorry, a 49-year age difference, it's a spectacle.
It'd be like you and I dating.
It'd be. Oh my gosh! I've already walked off the set once this week. You want to happen again?
No, I really don't.
Listen, I think people are going to question exactly what's going on, and the silence and the we're not talking about this doesn't do anything to help the case.
Yeah.
There's just more questions and more accusations. Should we be making them? No. Should they just be allowed to be happy and do whatever they want as long as nobody's getting hurt? Absolutely. But again, when you're a public figure, you have to expect some of this is coming. Right?
Yeah, apparently so.
Right. Stick around. So much more to come right here on ARC Rochester. When we come back, we're checking in with Chris Lopez, who's got the power this morning.
Yeah, don't forget, take us on the go wherever you are. Stream us live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel. We're back after this.
The line workers of RG&E are out and about working in all conditions, making sure everyone's lights work in the morning.
Yeah, RG&E invited Chris Lopez out this morning to see what a day in the life of a line worker looks like. He's live this morning on Scottsville Road learning about the job. Chris, when we checked in with you last, you were not brave enough to get up the pole just yet. How's it going now?
Oh, he's still on the ground.
Brave enough, I didn't have enough time, okay? I didn't have enough time to get up this pole, and and I'm gonna do so right now. It's gonna be technically horrible, but I'm gonna try my best to get up some decent. I can't go all the way up there. I was told for safety concerns, I cannot go all the way up there. So Dan Schrack, I do not want to hear you complaining if I don't get up to the top. I'm only gonna go a little bit high. I'm here with Gary this morning. Hardest part about doing this, what would you say?
Just making sure your legs are straight and not gaffing out.
That's my heart. That's what I'm running into. Okay, so pretty much I have all my belt on, all my equipment. I have the safety gear here. I got the spikes on my shoes this morning. Okay, we're gonna start, get a little grip here. This gotta go up. How am I doing?
Doing good.
Really?
Keep your legs straight.
This is safe?
You're doing good.
Okay. At this point, I'm already scared, I'm already tired, but we're gonna grit through this. Go a little bit higher. Okay. All right, when you're like all the way up here and you got snow, sleet, you got rain going on, what are you thinking? What's going on?
Get it done.
Get it done anyways?
Get it done and get down.
Get it done and get to the top of the
I couldn't even
pole.
imagine being all the way up here. I'm afraid of heights with snow just hitting my face. having to use bigger gloves than the ones that I have on right now. These are kind of the kid gloves essentially. And you gotta fix something. My legs are already getting really tired. I'm not even halfway up yet. And I still have to get down. And getting down is another technique. I was told it was a little harder and it is a little bit more scarier. Okay. All right. And Will, he's over there. He's retiring in a few. He says that they used to do this with no equipment at all. You just scale it like a bear.
Free climbing.
He says they're free climbing it. But when did that stop, Will?
I would say probably 2010,
2010, that's when it stopped. Coming down. Okay. Gary, how'd I do?
You did good.
Okay, I got a round of applause. That's how bad I was doing. In between these hits, I was having this explained to me. I still can't get it right. Just out of 10. 1 out of 10. How was I, Gary?
About a 4.
About a 4.
I give you a 5.
Okay, Will gives me a 5. Okay. I want to talk about storm, kind of the preparations. You're in repair, essentially. So when power lines go down,
Yep.
you guys are out fixing it, essentially.
Yep.
What's the biggest difference between kind of your operations when there's a storm going on, like a winter storm, versus a nice day like this?
Nice day. So winter storm, obviously you're going to be dealing with the snow and bad weather. I mean, you could have trees down, you could have animals that cause some outages, you could have quite a bit going on out there. But you got to track through the snow, backyards, fences. Then this is a clean pole right now. I mean, in the rear lots, you're going to have to climb a pole that has communications on it.
And you said clean pole. That means there's nothing up there essentially for me to fix?
Nothing for you to transition to.
Okay. And then when it comes to something that people overlook when they think about RG&E coming to fix their down power lines, they're saying, this is taking 2 hours. I want my internet back. I want my television back. What the heck is going on? What do people need to know? Because that took a long time just for me to get halfway up.
So when you got down power lines, you also got to go back to your control points, open everything up, make it safe, ground it, so the workers can work on it safely. So first you got to do that, and then you can go back there, get all the equipment that you need and all the material that you'll need to put the wires back up. And then you got to climb all the poles.
So essentially just at those small steps that I was doing that everyone overlooks, they think you guys essentially fly up there and fix it. It's not going to work. I can attest to that firsthand. It's tough to get all the way up there, figure out the problem. If you have more going on with snow, rain, it's going to add to that technical difficulty.
Yes.
And
wind.
Wind as well. Yeah, I can't even imagine wind. And I was told that these are stable here, but sometimes they are not completely stable and they sway.
Yeah, these are newer poles. So you got older poles that you got to deal with. They're a lot smaller sometimes. So they could be moving as soon as you get up in the air. So
next up,
back forth.
And next up, we're going to be going sky high in a bucket. I don't have to climb anything, so it's going to be a lot easier. Back to you guys in studio.
Yeah, I mean, are you impressed?
I was. I don't think that I could do that. I'm impressed with all of the people at RG&E.
Yeah, of course.
With Chris,
He took like 4 steps.
it was pretty good. I'd like to give it a try, though, just to see how it goes.
It would be kind of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I could scale that thing like a monkey.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You feel good?
I do. I feel good about it.
Well,
I
we
feel good about it.
should get you out there.
I'm sure we can
Strapped
arrange
up.
it. Hey, stick around. When we come back, meteorologist Mark McLean is joining us for a look at the stormy conditions headed our way today.
Yeah, we're back after this. Mark is here giving us a look at the warmer temperatures today, some rainy conditions, a busy weather afternoon, and weather trivia too.
Yeah, so it's in the back of your mind because of the weather that we had 2 days ago, 2 afternoons ago. You hear thunderstorms. Is it going to be the same kind of thing that we had 2 days ago? It doesn't look that way right now, but for spots in western New York, there's a chance that we could see a few strong to possibly severe cells later today. But let's start on that theme with the trivia for today. And much like yesterday, there's different criteria that you have to get to. For hail, we said it was 3/4 inch hail yesterday to be, quote, considered severe. Today, one component of severe weather is the wind. How windy does it need to be in weather to be considered severe? Any thoughts on that?
I do have some thoughts.
So with the aviation, you may know this from the aviation stuff.
I don't know about that.
Maybe. I don't know. They might have already.
Weather theory's rough.
Okay. Was it 58, 65, 50 miles per hour, or 75 mile per hour wind gusts to be, quote, considered severe in weather?
What's the sustainability factor here?
So this is gusts.
Just gusts.
This is gusts. This isn't a 1 minute weighted sustained average.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't you like these fancy questions I'm asking?
I do.
But it's interesting.
It is interesting. No, it really is. I think I know. I feel like I know.
You see these crawls pop up on the bottom of your screen, severe thunderstorm warning, Monroe County. Well, what's prompting that?
Well,
right?
let's think about this. 50 miles an hour, that's 10 over what it is on West Henrietta Road. 65, that's the throughway. 75, that's Abby leaving the parking lot.
Okay, wait, hold on, pause. You got to stop saying that because people get upset. I do not speed out of the parking lot. People were angry and they commented on the YouTube that he said I should be ashamed of myself. Yeah, we saw that. That is garbage news right there.
I will abstain from any comments regarding Abby and driving.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't have any information to add to this.
I hate both of you.
Look at the.
Oh my God.
All you got to do is look at where she parks in the tire tracks.
You gotta stop. You're gonna get me in trouble.
The smell of burning rubber in the morning. I love you.
Yeah, you beat it, punk. Actually, no, I'm gonna leave. How about that?
Beat it, punk. Let's talk about that severe chance. Let's get back to weather
severe
here.
chance, and I'm gonna punch you. Anyway,
man.
Most of this will stay to our southwest. Okay, so possible storms. When you look at this is the Storm Prediction Center. And that yellow hatched area south of Buffalo, this would be an area that would have a, quote, higher chance to see a severe thunderstorm. You see Rochester in the green area, so that would be the lowest threat level, 1 through 5. That means that there is a chance, but that chance is pretty low to see heavy rain, lightning, hail. Damaging wind, of course, will follow it for you. And you remember I put this on the air 2 days ago? We had some of these numbers that were into the thousands of joules per kilogram. Watch to the southwest. You're going to see some of those numbers go up a little bit. But not nearly as high as what we experienced 2 afternoons ago. So there is some storm energy there. It is not nearly to the same area that we were 2 days ago. I mean, we had temperatures in the 80s. We had dew points in the 60s. We really had almost, that summer-like setup. For storms, this is a much different scenario. So, we can look at it from that standpoint. Now, right now, we've got some sprinkles east of Rochester, and they're trending off to the east. But we look back to the west to find that next storm system, and there it is, low pressure, basically near Chicago at this point, and out ahead of that. Some showers. So here we go for the afternoon, 1, 2 o'clock. Looks mainly dry at that point, but there's that line coming through, a second line around midnight tonight. Both of these should be weakening on their way in as they drift off to the east of Rochester, but we still have to leave that chance for some rain in even on Friday, especially south and east of Rochester. There's a cold front lingering, and unfortunately, starting off the weekend there Saturday morning, it looks like there's a chance for some rain in the forecast. So one of the parts that you'll notice, especially west, is that there could be a downpour or two, rain amounts up to a ½ inch. It looks like those amounts are lesser, again, as those storms weaken off to the east of Rochester. But temperature right now, 49 degrees, no wind. Nice to see a little green on the screen there at the bottom of the screen. And the planning forecast today is going to have that temperature topping out near 70, with the extended forecast showing a cool down into the weekend. We'll drop back through the 60s into the mid-50s with a warm up next week. By the middle of next week, some of the data is a little conflicted there as to if that warming trend continues. We'll have to fine-tune that as we get closer.
All right, Mark. Thank you so much.
Time right now, 8:31. Much more to come here on Arc Rochester.
We're back right after this. this Thursday morning. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. We're going to switch gears right now and take an in-depth look at a story we have been following for you pretty closely.
Yeah, the Onondaga County District Attorney says 11 high school students won't face further charges for what he calls hazing on steroids.
For more on this story and what's to come, we're joined now by investigative reporter Mary Keeler from our sister station, CNY Central. Mary, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Always happy to help out my hometown in Rochester. Hi from Syracuse.
Absolutely. So let's dive right in. This story playing out over the past several days in the media, with it really dominating headlines, even at the national scale. Yeah. For someone who is new to this, can you break it down for us?
So we've been following this, and as you said, it's been dominating national headlines. We've been seeing our local coverage on CNN and all the networks. But if you are new to this story, here's what you need to know. We, at this time, know that there were some younger members of the West Hill boys varsity lacrosse team, and there were some more senior members of that team, older members of that team. Some of them were told are 18 years old. They were under the impression that they were going to have some bonding with those older members of the team, those upperclassmen. They were told that last Thursday night they were going to head to a lacrosse game with them and then go to McDonald's to get some food after. Instead, it was all a ruse, we're hearing from the Onondaga County District Attorney. There were 5 victims, they believe. One of them was the one who got the worst of what I'm about to describe. 4 of them had seemingly been able to escape. One young male student, he was actually tied up. He had a pillowcase put over his head. He was put into the trunk of a car and driven to a remote part of Onondaga County. We tried to get some more details on that. We were not able to confirm an exact location, but we were told that there were people in the car driving him in the trunk. And then once they got to this remote area, there were more people there, members of that team, all dressed in black. One of them had at least what looked like a handgun and a knife. They came out, and most of this was caught on video. So this created an uproar in the community. There was a lot of questions. We got a briefing from the district attorney on Tuesday, and he called this, as you said, hazing on steroids, giving a 48-hour really ultimatum to anyone involved to turn themselves in and get an appearance ticket. That happened inside 24 hours of that first 48 hours.
Mary, I want to continue talking about it being caught on video. Is this something, and maybe you know this or maybe you don't, is this something that surveillance video captured, or is this something that the suspects in this are accused of recording?
We have not seen the video. We know the district attorney has seen the video, and he said it's been circulating. So we know that it's most likely surveillance hasn't been brought up here due to the remote nature of wherever this all allegedly occurred. But what we do know is that it seems like some of the perpetrators who were accused of being involved here, that's how this was caught on video.
Mary, I want to ask how the victims are doing, especially the one who was, had his head covered in a pillowcase and shoved into a trunk and then left in a remote area. But I also want to know what potential charges there are talks of in this, because as you mentioned at the very beginning of this, some of those older members are 18.
Yeah, and I want to hit on that point first because it's something we're continuing to do in our reporting today here in Syracuse is, get the names of those people who are 18, because that is public information, and that is, as is anybody who is charged with a crime who is 18 or older. That's public information, and we should know that, so we continue that. But we don't know much about the victims, 5 in total, 1 getting the brunt of all of that was just described, because if they are a minor, this will likely be handled behind closed doors. There's a lot of privacy laws that protect their identity, but we do know that these victims are not alone. I've spoken with experts, national experts this week, pointing to a study saying that at least 1.5 million high schoolers report being hazed each year, and that is grossly understated, they tell me, because there are so many thousands each day happening, these hazing incidents, and many people are not going to come forward ever.
It is really so sad. Mary, we're running low on time here. I want to know what comes next in this investigation.
So what we know right now is that the 11 that have seemingly turned themselves in, the DA confirmed that they have gotten appearance tickets. At this point, we have confirmed they have not been arraigned yet. We know that is forthcoming, but really the appearance ticket is going to be for unlawful imprisonment. So not a charge in the adult, regular criminal justice system for these perpetrators.
All right, Mary Keeler, CNY Central. Mary, thank you so much for your time this morning. We look forward to watching your continuing coverage of this and hopefully speaking with you again in the near future following any new developments.
Thanks, guys. Happy to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Time right now is 8:39. Much more to come here on ARC Rochester. We'll check back in with Chris Lopez coming up next. Welcome back. The line workers of RG&E play an important role in the delivery of energy to our homes.
Yeah, rain, shine, snow, sleet. It was all of those in one. Snine. They are out there restoring power to everyone, either above ground or below ground. Chris Lopez was invited to see what a day in the life of one of these workers is. I think he's in the cherry picker now. Hey there, Chris.
Hey, Dan, I'm in the bucket, okay? It's called the bucket, man. And I've graduated from climbing school, and this is the next phase, essentially. I'm here with Kayla Robinson this morning. Talk to me a little bit about what you guys do in here when you go up.
Yeah, so like you said, you graduated from the pole. Now you're into the bucket. Did great on the pole. So When we're in a bucket, you might see us removing trees from the lines, rehanging wires, cutouts, anything you can think of we're using this bucket for, yep.
And when you guys are up here, Will was telling me, no fear at all, just nothing. At all. Nothing, even with the wind, it just would get more stressful. That's about it.
Yeah,
you guys are incredibly
get it done
brave.
attitude for sure.
Okay, I want to go up.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm going to be going up to that pole right there to essentially fix whatever is going on. So I'm ready to be raised up right now.
All right, let's do it.
And guys, in here you don't have the vantage point, but it's essentially incredibly small. No room for a second person up here, and Will, who is a line worker, constantly goes up in these buckets. Yeah, I'm ready, Will. And constantly goes up in these buckets. I'm so afraid of heights right now. They go up in these buckets, and they have to deal with things like wind, things like snow, and deal with, of course, the heights. I can't imagine. No one on RG&E is someone has to be afraid of heights. So you got to overcome this quite a bit. And then on top of that, you're constantly dealing with changing conditions as well. So it could be windy for maybe 5 minutes, and then rain comes in the next 5 minutes, and then it calms down, and then maybe a dog is barking at you, and maybe you're not able to talk to someone when you're down there. And communication, I'm told, is incredibly key here. Okay, we're getting close to the power line. Okay, and being up here, it's not too bad looking down. We're probably, 40, 50 feet up. And essentially, I would start pulling this and slicing wires, fixing stuff. They have a ton of tools in here at your disposal, different wrenches, various tools to help you fix the problem. But wherever Kayla's at, if she can hear me, hey, Kayla.
Hey.
What would you say is the hardest part being up here? Is it? I was talking about the weather.
Yep.
The weather being the most kind of factor.
Yeah, so the wind, we do have a certain threshold to which we can work up into. So 40 miles per hour, that's our threshold. And then if there's any thunder, there's going to be lightning. So we're going to have to come down. So that's going to take time for power restoration.
And I have to ask, is every single pole, and in terms of the structure, is that always going to be the same in terms of the 9 different counties that you guys cover at RG&E? Because I'd imagine when you get up here and you're like, I've barely worked on this type.
Yeah, it varies. So you might come up to something that you've never seen before. But in our area, they should, pretty similar. Yeah.
And then if I had to ask you, or I'm going to ask you, what's the hardest weather condition to deal with? Will was telling me it was the wind.
Yep, I would agree with that. Definitely the wind, because you're swaying all over the place.
And the poles I mentioned in the hit when I was climbing up these poles here that I was climbing up, very traditional, pretty sturdy. They're pretty thick. You can climb up pretty easily. You get a good grip in there. They're training poles. But some of the poles you were telling me about, Will was telling me about, everyone here was saying they're not the same. Some are pretty old, and they're going to sway even without wind.
Oh, yeah. They're like toothpick sizes. So it's pretty difficult. Yep.
And training up here, how long does it take to get certified from climbing the pole to get into this? Because you essentially graduate from climbing to being in this bucket.
Yep, so apprentices start, they have 6 weeks of climbing school, but their entire schooling is 4 years, so it takes time.
Will, I'm ready to be let down. You said this would be a little shaky. All right, guys, day in the life here at RG&E. It's climbing poles. I was learning about all the different equipment. It's pretty, if you don't like heights, man, I don't see how you could do this for a living at all. Hats off to the men and women that go out, rain, sleet, snow, like we're saying, especially with the wind. They tell me the wind is the worst, essentially because you can't communicate. The pole is swaying. If you're in this thing right here, this bucket, it's also gonna swerve a little bit too. And I think communication is probably the best. So if you need to talk to another line worker, you're out of luck, essentially. So hats off to the men and women at RG&E. Thank you guys for showing me around and bearing with me throughout the morning. Back to you guys in the studio.
I'm so proud
Abby,
of you.
I am not going to... Chris, Abby keeps on telling me to ask you to grab one of those lines. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
I would never.
I think they're functional, so thanks a lot, Abby.
Chris, you know me. I would never say that. I was just about to say I was proud of you for facing
Thank you, Chris.
Bye. Hey, when we come back, we're learning more about an upcoming event that is putting a cheaper price tag on tech.
We'll have more after this. This morning, we are talking tech, and if you love shiny new toys but hate paying full price, well then, listen up.
Yeah, there's a special event happening this weekend that's promising big savings while promoting sustainable choices.
For more on the upcoming Spring Bonanza sale being put on by Sun King Sustainable Solutions, we are joined now by the Director of Marketing, Rob Reed, and Communications Manager, Taylor Riccici. Thank you both so much for waking up and coming in. We appreciate
absolutely.
it. So, talk to us. Is this the first time you have done this event?
We've done it before. This is going to be our biggest event. We've got more inventory, a lot more TVs than we've done in the past, and just opening up to the community. Do it about twice a year, usually.
Excellent. Nice. So, okay, televisions. What else can people expect?
We'll have mobile devices, tablets, laptops. We've got custom-built PCs from like high-end to lower-end. Everything that can run a video game still, though. So if you're in the market for that, it's a good chance to get something that's a lot cheaper, custom built by someone who's an expert. And then we've got like kids' toys, just wide assortment of things. Yeah.
And Taylor, why would people want to go to an event like this rather than buying the item new?
Well, not only is it something that's more local, so you can quite literally see it, but it's also, when you're shopping sustainably and buying products that are refurbished, it helps the environment, and shopping sustainably helps the environment overall, but buying this refurbished tech really extends the life. Therefore, it lessens our impact on the environment overall.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those who are unfamiliar, give us an overview of what Sun King does and, all of the work that goes into helping the environment.
Yeah, so we're an industrial level recycling company. We work with not just residential, but big businesses. So we field a lot of returns or overstock, discontinued items, things like that at just a huge level. And we accept a lot more than some other recyclers might. So we're able to process a lot of different types of materials, and we're able to repair and refurbish a lot more than other places are sometimes able to. So we're able to kind of do both, and that gives us a unique perspective to be able to give back either just that material and get it back into circulation as a material, or if it's the product still, that is much more valuable. It has less carbon footprint and just helps overall even more. So being able to influence it that way is very important to us.
I'm wondering if we can pull that VO back up of the sale in the past, because I was kind of surprised to see all that you have there. It's not like you've got a couple of cell phones. This is like, warehouse style shopping. There's tons of everything here.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of variety. To be able to list everything that we have, we'd be here all day. So if you really want to see what we've got, you're just going to have to show up.
It really is incredible. For somebody who wants to swing by, what is like the price range, let's say for a television?
Yeah.
You know
For
what?
a
Like, I know we
television.
can't go through everything here,
Yeah,
but
look at these TVs.
So
yeah,
many TVs.
we have about 500 TVs for this sale, and the price ranges from $37 all the way up to almost $1,000. It just depends on how big you want it and the quality of the image that you're after and what the brand name is. So we've
Amazing.
got like 4K crystal displays at up to 90 inches.
wow.
And then we've got just some smaller 32-inch ones that if you need some for like your bedroom or whatever, much lower price
Very
range
cool.
for those. Yeah.
Taylor, one more time for somebody sitting at home, what do they need to know? When, where do they need to register, or do they just show up?
They can just show up, but we do have a Facebook event page on our Sun King Sustainable Solutions Facebook page if they want to say they're going there. And the event is on May 3rd from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 4 Owens Road in Brockport, New York.
Excellent.
Perfect.
Taylor, Rob, thank you so much for
Yeah.
being here today. We appreciate it. If you'd like to swing by, we'll put the information for you over on foxrochester.com.
You can drop one of those big screens off for me right here.
that'd be
4225
yeah.
West Henrietta Road.
Just a gift.
Yeah, just a gift. Hey, stick around. Much more to come right here on ARC Rochester.
We're back after this. Much more to get to here on ARC Rochester as we continue into the 9 o'clock hour. Stephanie Joseph will break down some of our top political stories.
Yeah, she's there right now at the live desk with a preview of what is ahead. Hey, Steph.
Hey there, guys. In today's Political Pulse, we're looking at the state of the U.S. economy, the findings from a recent GDP report that point to a slowdown, and the response from President Trump. Plus, former Vice President Kamala Harris delivering a speech criticizing Trump, what she had to say about his administration's policies, and the outcome of a Senate vote to block President Trump's trade policy. Also, what we know about the mineral deal now signed between the U.S. and Ukraine. That's all coming up in our 9 o'clock hour. Arc Rochester returns right after this.
Good Thursday morning, 9 o'clock on this May 1st. It's a Friday Eve. Thanks for being here. I'm Abby Ferdman.
And I'm Dan Schrack. That is meteorologist Mark McLean. We will check in with him with a forecast update in just a minute. We do, though, want to begin with Stephanie Joseph for your Arc Rochester news break.
Here are some of the top local stories that we're following this Thursday morning. Breaking news, an 18-year-old is in custody after a double shooting on the city's north side that left a 17-year-old fighting for her life this morning. Police say that shooting happened just after midnight Wednesday in the area of Alphonse and Thomas Streets. We're told a 30-year-old man was on the front porch when he was shot, while a 17-year-old girl was inside and accidentally hit by a bullet. The man is expected to survive, but the teen is still in critical condition. The suspect vehicle took off from the scene and a search began over in Brockport. Police arresting the suspect, 18-year-old Michael Garcia, after an hours-long standoff outside an apartment on North Main Street. Garcia is facing multiple charges, including attempted murder and criminal possession of a weapon. He is set to be arraigned this morning shortly, and we're told more people could be charged as this investigation continues. The Onondaga County District Attorney says 11 high school students won't face further charges for what he calls, quote, hazing on steroids. The students, members of the West Hill boys lacrosse team, turned themselves in yesterday and were ticketed for unlawful imprisonment. Prosecutors say an underclassman was taken to a remote area, tied up, had a pillowcase put over his head, and was placed in the trunk of a car, while other players jumped out of the woods, pretending to be kidnappers. All 10 former Marcy Correctional officers charged in the beating death of Robert Brooks will get more time to consider plea deals. A judge granted the extension, citing new evidence, including additional body camera footage from the scene. Investigators say Brooks, a Rochester area native, was severely beaten in December at Marcy Correctional Facility in Oneida County. He died a day later. The 10 former officers face charges ranging from murder to evidence tampering. They're due back in court later this month, with anyone rejecting a deal headed to a pretrial hearing in June. A woman is now facing charges accused of sending laced mail to inmates in New York. The Department of Corrections says a woman who has not been named allegedly soaked mail in narcotics before sending it to multiple inmates. She's been charged with promoting prison contraband. Her arrest comes after reports across the state of prison staff and inmates becoming ill after suffering possible exposures to an unknown substance. Doc says it is working now to implement a system-wide mail screening process at all state prisons. For all these top stories and any updates, be sure to visit 13wham.com. Back to you.
All right, Steph, thanks. We'll get a check at the forecast now and the answer to today's weather trivia. Mark is here causing a lot of trouble. What else is new?
Well, we got to have some fun, right? So we had some severe storms 2 days ago in the afternoon south of Rochester. And our trivia question today kind of centers on that. We were asking about the wind about a half hour ago. The weather trivia said, well, what's that threshold? You know, you start to get tree damage, you start to get infrastructure damage at this specific point. So from an engineering standpoint, this is where the trouble starts. Speaking of troublemakers, is it 58 miles per hour, 65 miles per hour, 50, or 75 miles per hour? What do you think? Where's, you know, think about a fully foliated tree, you know, leafed out and taking on wind gusts. Where do you think the hardwood trees are going to have a hard time?
Abby?
Why do
I'm gonna say. I want to go 65, but I'm gonna split the difference and say 58.
So Mary and Amy say C. Julie says B.
I'll go with 58.
58. 58 is the final answer?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, you're gonna go 58?
Yeah.
Okay. Guess what? 58.
Boom.
Nice.
You nailed it. So that's the threshold where you start to see more damage, or we go from what would be very isolated instances of, you know, damage. It's a diseased tree losing a limb or something underneath that threshold. You know, above 58 miles per hour, even healthy trees are going to have a hard time with that kind of wind velocity. And get this, the highest wind gust ever recorded on this planet, Barrow Island, Australia, on April 10th, 1996, the wind registered 253 miles per hour.
Okay,
What?
so
Yeah.
would that not just? I mean, what kind of damage would that? Obviously,
It would be
devastation.
catastrophic,
But
yeah.
what are we talking?
So at 253 miles per hour,
Is it going to blow over the house and?
everything that's above ground would be toppled. Okay, even well-constructed steel and concrete buildings, you'd have to be underground. Just the debris alone, a pencil eraser can
Even
puncture
steel
your skin
and
at
concrete
100
buildings?
at 100 miles per hour. So a 2x4 can go through a brick chimney at a 90-degree angle at 100 miles per hour. So you start to think about that kind of stuff. And yeah, there's no wooden frame structure. You know, our houses around here, the engineering code is, you know, somewhere between 80 and 90, you know, when you're building. The second the roof comes off, the house topples, because the roof is what holds the house up. Okay, the walls they're connected.
Yeah.
And once the roof goes, the walls just fold in like a deck of cards. You know, the card house that you build. So
That's wild.
That is
Yeah.
really terrifying.
yeah.
When was that again?
That was in 1996. That was during a cyclone, Emily? I'd have to take a look at that cyclone's name, but it was during a cyclone that was. The highest gust in the United States was Mount Washington in New Hampshire, 1934. There was a gust of 231 miles per hour. That was during a nor'easter. Okay.
Wow.
That was going up the coast. Can you imagine that?
No.
It's wild.
And then, of course, tornadoes would have gusts that would be much higher, but we'll never know because we can't construct equipment that can withstand that kind of force.
Yeah.
So you'll never see gusts much higher than that unless some new technology comes out that we can use.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. Let's go to the Muddy Paw Outlook. There they are.
Aww.
It's Diesel and Tank. Thanks, Becca, for sharing the pics on 13wham.com/chime in. We love to see them, and we had a lot of pup pics come in the last couple of days. Pups are going to have wet paws late this afternoon, this evening, on Friday. Also that chance, and even into early Saturday morning. But we'll start to dry out Sunday and Monday, so we can get Diesel and Tank out there get some exercise into the old pup. We had a hard time getting Indy out yesterday.
Oh, she was not having it.
Well, she was, and then she didn't want to come. Once they're out, then they don't want to come back in. So the reason that the Muddy Paw Outlook has a chance for wet paws is because of that slight chance for severe storms. And I think this is a slight to moderate, especially if you're watching from west of Rochester late this afternoon, this evening. We could see 60-mile-per-hour winds, some hail out of some storms. Right now, we're not seeing any activity like that. But we'll watch the storm system again back to the west. You can see some of that moisture, even a few thunderstorms south of Cleveland starting to lift up out ahead of a warm front. And the futurecast will hold, as we go through the afternoon, one chance and into the evening there, 5, 6 o'clock. And notice how they fade when they go off to the east of Rochester. That's going to be the same chance later tonight, probably closer to midnight. So a couple of chances tucked into the forecast right there. And rain amounts kind of show what we think. Most of this should be on the west side of the city. Rain amounts around a ½ inch, and east of Rochester should be lesser amounts as we move through time. But we'll see temps in the low 50s to start off today. Light southeast breeze, lots of clouds, great morning for a walk. The afternoon temps top out near 70. And the next 7 days, we're going to see those numbers fall back to the mid-50s on Saturday. Looks like we'll climb out to the 60s by Monday. And, the forecast by the middle of next week is a little unsettled. Some data has a nice little warm-up continuing. Some of the data has a slower-moving storm system that kind of makes the outlook a little bit more muddy for us. We'll have to fine-tune it as we get a little bit closer.
All right. Sounds good.
49 days.
Yeah.
49 days.
Yep.
We should go here
Oh, that'd be great.
and recreate that picture and use it for next year.
Yes.
How about that?
Yes, we absolutely should.
Shorts and T-shirts.
Oh, goodness.
Yep.
That's how we should end the show on the first day of
Ooh,
summer.
live show from the beach.
From the beach.
Can you
be fun.
imagine how much the crew would love that?
Absolutely.
Sand everywhere.
Oh, my gosh.
And all the gear.
Yup.
All the
Yes.
gear. Hey, fruit tree segment on From the Ground Up coming up at 9:30. We're gonna have some.
All right. Sounds
forward
good.
to it.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Time right now, 9:10. When we come back, we're getting a closer look at JCC Center Stage's upcoming musical.
Hey, and don't forget, you can watch us on the go wherever you're heading. We're streaming live right now on the 13 Wham YouTube channel. (9:12), thanks so much for sticking with us this Thursday. We are heading behind the curtain right now, getting a special look at a musical coming to JCC Center Stage that'll have audiences singing, laughing and falling in love.
Their show, An American in Paris, kicks off this weekend. For more, we're joined now by cast members Joseph Davila and Sarah Morgan. Good morning to you both. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Good morning.
This is one of those classics, but for somebody who's unfamiliar, give us the overview of the show.
Sure. So it's based off of the film that came out in 1952, starring Gene Kelly. It's about a soldier who stays in Paris after World War II to pursue his dream of becoming an artist, and in the process falls in love. I play Jerry Mulligan, which is the Gene Kelly character.
And I play Lise Desan.
Yes, who I end up falling in love with. Yeah.
And how much French did you have to learn along the way?
That's for you to answer, not for me.
So we have an amazing dialect coach who has helped us so much throughout this whole process. So this has been a new adventure for me with that accent, but it's been a good time.
Did you speak any French? Did you have did you take it in high school or anything that you could kind of tap into?
Funny enough, I did take it in high school. I did not remember any of it though.
But also, being a ballet dancer, you know so much French just from the terminology, you know.
Very true.
Tendus, dégagés,
Yeah, right.
all that good stuff.
Very good. All right, so tell us about your characters. You gave us a quick little overview, but what do you like about playing them?
Sure. So the cool thing about the stage adaptation of the film is they really lean very heavily into the dance aspect. So the way that I've been explaining it to my friends and family is it's like a ballet that has singing and acting. It's dance from start to finish. We've teamed up with the Draper Center. Some of the best dancers I've seen in my entire career. Our choreographer, Jamie Leverett, really did a fantastic job of making some of the best dance I've ever danced in my entire life. So for me, the part that I've just absolutely adored of this process is the dancing. I grew up adoring Gene Kelly, so to get to kind of step into his shoes for a little bit has been a dream come true.
And for you?
Same. I came from the ballet world, and there are not that many musicals that incorporate ballet and point work into musical theater. So this is kind of that culmination of everything that I love in one piece of art. So it's awesome, and there's something for everybody. It's very family friendly.
Yeah.
So with the background in dance that I imagine you both have, what is it like putting this on the stage, putting it on its feet?
Oh my goodness. I mean, so auditions were in September, and I kid you not, like from the day after auditions happened, I've been training nonstop because it really is this like 2-hour marathon where you just are going and going and going and going. So a lot of physical therapy, a lot of cardio, a lot of stretching, making sure that your body is staying, in best shape as possible to avoid injury. It's a lot. It's a lot to prepare for it, but it's an absolute wild ride.
All right. So now we're getting ready for final rehearsal, right? How have things been shaping up?
Good.
Great. Good. Yeah, we have an amazing artistic team, and it's been a lovely process.
Yeah, some finishing touches here and there, but we open Saturday. We run through the next 3 weeks at the JCC, and I think we're ready. I feel like I want an audience in the house.
We're ready.
Okay, we're excited about that.
Oh goodness, yes.
We want you all to be there.
Okay, so I have to ask this question. Has it ever happened during the rehearsal process? Have you ever thought to yourself, I don't know, I forgot what the dance was, I forgot what I'm supposed to do here? And do you have to ad-lib that and make it up and fill the space and, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yes. Knock on wood 3 times, yes and no. Last night there was a prop issue during one of our ballet scenes, and we had to improvise of how to get it off the stage because it logistically was a hazard, with people being on point shoes. That being on stage could have been a very, very tricky thing. So you kind of just have to work on the fly. I mean, that's live theater. It's kind of the magic of it, where every single performance is completely different, and it keeps your brain sharp, and it's just what makes it so fun.
It keeps it interesting. It is somewhat entertaining being on stage, and you can almost watch somebody enter the white room, and you're like, how are we gonna handle this?
Yeah.
But everyone always does. Everyone's professional, so it's a fun time. It
keeps you on your toes.
Correct.
No pun or pun intended.
Quite literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you so much for coming in today.
You.
We really appreciate it. One more time for somebody who wants to get tickets, they better get them. Can they get them online? Can they get them at the door? What's the deal?
Both. So check out all of our socials, JCC and Rochester. Google us, Instagram, Facebook. You can give us a call as well. We run the next 3 weeks.
Perfect. And if you missed any of that, we'll make sure to post all of this information and much more on our website, foxrochester.com.
Much more to come on Arc Rochester. When we come back, Steph will be here breaking down some top political headlines.
Your political pulse is on the other side of the break.
It's time for a political pulse check here on Arc Rochester. We begin with a closer look at the U.S. economy. Now, a new report shows that the economy had its worst quarter since 2022. The gross domestic product, which measures all goods and services produced in the economy, was negative. In 2024, it had ended at 2.4%. Between January and March, that figure shrank 0.3%. And while some economists are pointing to Trump's trade policy, the president says the decline is due to the previous administration.
But this is Biden's economy because we took over on January 20th. And I think you have to get us a little bit of time to get moving. But this is the Biden economy.
Well, in her first major speech since leaving office, former Vice President Kamala Harris offered a stinging rebuke of President Trump. Harris offered those remarks at a gala from an organization that helps women run for office. Now, she criticized his economic policy, saying he's setting off the, quote, greatest man-made economic crisis in modern history. Harris also said his tariff plan would lead to a recession. At least 2 consecutive negative GDPs are needed to trigger one. Now, the former VP warned of a constitutional crisis as well, as Trump has called out judges directly for ruling against his policy.
Instead of an administration working to advance America's highest ideals, we are witnessing the wholesale abandonment of those ideals.
Now to a resolution that would block Trump's global tariffs failing in the Senate. Now, it had some bipartisan backing with 49 in favor, but 49 were against it, and Vice President J.D. Vance had to cast that tie-breaking vote. The resolution would revoke the emergency order Trump used to enact those tariffs. Though he was not present, Republican Senator Mitch McConnell once said a trade war would ultimately be paid for by taxpayers. But not all Republicans feel that way.
Failure on the economy, failure on lowering costs, failure on tariffs.
When you're going through all this, you got to take the long view. And I think his policy decisions are the right ones. And I think over time that will bear fruit.
And now to a deal between the U.S. and Ukraine over minerals. The deal will give the U.S. access to rare earth elements in Ukraine. President Trump says it's part of a condition of further support for Ukraine in its war against Russia. Talks stalled earlier this year, you might remember, following that tense meeting in the Oval Office.
We made a deal where our money is secure, where we can start digging and doing what we have to do. It's also good for them because you'll have an American presence at the site.
Now, also this morning, a Columbia University student is now released. Mohsen Madawi was arrested by immigration enforcement agents more than 2 weeks ago. He was under the impression that he'd undergo a final interview before becoming a U.S. citizen. Madawi has been an outspoken advocate of Palestine. He's now out on some conditions, including staying in Vermont.
And those students don't have the privilege, which should be actually the due process, which I went through. They don't have that.
And closer to home, North Country Congresswoman Elise Stefanik is denying that she discussed running for governor with House Speaker Mike Johnson. Now, part of an X post in it saying, quote, "This is not true. I have had no conversations with the speaker regarding the governor's race." Stefanik, though, has yet to say if she will run for the state's highest office. And for more on these stories and any updates, be sure to stick with us right here on air and online. Our Rochester returns right after this.
7:27. Thanks so much for sticking with us here on ARC Rochester. The gang is all here for this week's From the Ground Up.
Oh, that was nice. Little sound effect machine.
Yeah, we were having some fun.
Mark, last week we got the chance to see you plant some seeds.
Yeah.
This week, what are we doing?
Yeah, we checked in on the seeds, and also a big topic, the cost of groceries is so high. Everybody's thinking about, should I do a garden? Should we get some fruit trees? Maybe we start a little orchard. We got a little space in the backyard. Let's talk about fruit trees and berries. How about that?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, we're here with Nick Mostarda at the Garden Factory. He is the nursery manager for all of these awesome fruit trees. Hey Nick, you have 80 different varieties of fruit trees. What are some of the favorites for some of the folks out there?
Well, if I were looking at peaches, I would look at like Bella Georgia peach, which is a nice self-pollinator, super easy to grow. If you were looking at like apple trees, it would be something like a Honeycrisp, but with apples you need to have two to pollinate. So something like an Empire with a Honeycrisp would be a good combination. Cherries, great for self-pollinating as well, easy to grow.
And you mentioned pollinators versus non-pollinators. Is one variety easier to grow than another?
In my experience, I believe cherries and apples are probably the easiest thing to grow in our climate. If you were to grow peaches, which are self-pollinating, you just need to make sure you're in an area that's well-drained, full sun, not an area where water can tend to pool. Apples and cherries, which are a little more hardy for the area, tend to do a little bit better in our winters. So a little bit easier to grow, in my opinion.
Okay, and it's early in the season yet. We're still in April. Are any of these varieties more frost tolerant than other varieties? Is there a hardiness difference in any of these fruit trees?
We really try to carry everything that can tolerate a Rochester winter. We kind of stay away from anything that's not zone 5 or colder. So you really shouldn't have an issue with winters. I don't see that being really too much of an issue with any of the varieties that we have.
Okay, and for a homeowner, just starting out, maybe they just bought a new house, they want to get into this to knock down the grocery bill just a little bit. I'm looking at a pot right there. And how big am I going to dig this hole for this tree? If I want to put in, say, 4 or 5 of these fruit trees and start my own orchard, how big does that hole have to be to put the tree in?
So typically you would go up right level with the soil that's in the pot.
Yep.
Twice as wide.
Okay.
Get it dug out really nice. Amend it with some compost. They like to be slightly acidic, and that will help with that. It'll also help with the draining, because fruit trees, the biggest thing is making sure that soil drains.
Okay.
So a couple things for tips for setting you up for success. Spraying is a really important detail that a lot of people don't really think about. It's going to take probably 3-4 times a season, but a lot of times I always say you get out what you put in. If you put the work in and you can get the sprays down, just don't spray them when they're fully flowered. It'll really help with pests and different things like that, and you'll really get that grocery style fruit off of them. Another big thing is make sure you're planting them in full sun all the time. So
now, if somebody has the fruit tree spray on their fruit, do you recommend washing that off before they consume the fruit, or how does that work at the end?
I would definitely wash it, but the other piece of it too is like the Bonite product that we have here with the brown top is all organic. So it is safe, not really too much to worry about, but washing it off is always probably a good bet.
Okay, and a couple of different ways to apply, right? This is the pre-made, right?
Yep, this hooks up right to the hose.
And what about this guy?
You have to dilute that, and all the instructions for the dilution is on the back side.
Okay, right back here?
Yep, and they'll have full instructions on how much to dilute it to go into your sprayer.
What if those fruit trees are too much for that homeowner? Is there any other types of fruits that we can get into?
Yeah, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, all great options, easy to grow. They typically do really well for lots of different people. The bushel and berry series of blueberry is a really easy one to grow. They stay a lot shorter, smaller. For more compact gardens or containers, you can do them in that. And they do the bushel and berry series in blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries.
Oh, that's
so
great.
A lot of good options. There's also the traditional high bush blueberry if you want something a little bit bigger. But yeah,
and
really easy.
What's the maintenance like on the berries, the blueberries, the raspberries? What's a homeowner getting into on this?
So typically, if you just give them a trim one time after they're done fruiting, you're in really good shape. They could take a decent little fertilizer, a 10 fertilizer, something pretty generic. Other than that, if you plant them again in full sun, anything fruit bearing, full sun, keep them watered, you're going to really be prosperous. I think you'll do really well.
We're talking
Talking
about
about blueberries.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark, I gotta tell you, I loved that. That was great, so informative. But have you ever seen those time-lapse videos online? This is all I can think of when you talk about fruit-bearing or food-bearing plants, things like that. You put the tiny little seed in the ground.
Yeah.
You watch it grows, and then it produces. I find it so incredibly amazing that something so small in the start can be so fruitful in the end.
Yeah, and they get big. They get big quick. One of the important parts of the fruit trees is the pruning too. We didn't get into that aspect of it, but in the early spring, you want to make sure that those main arterial branches on the trees are strong enough. I mean, you think about it. You go to the grocery store, you pick up like 10, 12 apples. Imagine hanging that off of a weak branch, right? Or, then the critters are jumping on it or something like that, or it's raining heavily, it's windy. Pruning is very important. And you heard Nick there say about the fruit tree spray. Very important to follow the schedule for the fruit tree spray and to do it at the right time. Otherwise you're going to start fighting with worms and, other insects that you just don't want on your fruit.
What about other critters, like not just bugs, but actual, deer, Abby's raccoon infestation. What do you do?
And birds,
And birds.
especially if you're into the cherry trees. Oh, the birds, they come in. So that's where pruning comes in too, is you want to keep the trees to a height where you can manage them. Get the fruit that's all the way at the top of the tree. You go into a legacy farm or something like that, and sometimes they get, unwieldy, they get larger and they grow up. But if you keep them, that 8-10 foot where you can still get at it with a ladder, still get the fruit off of there, that helps. So you're not fighting the birds necessarily and the squirrels as much. But at the end of the day, there's really not much you can do about it.
And I saw that there was you could start with seeds, but there was also some plants themselves.
Yeah.
Like for a beginner.
Yes.
Better to start with seeds or maybe a little bit of
I would go with the plants and the trees that they have there. So if you're starting up, a lot of these need pollinators, okay? So like the apple trees, the pear trees, you have to have two to actually get them to bear fruit. Some of them are self-pollinators, some of the trees are self-pollinators, but the nursery that you're at's going to tell you all about that. And Dr. Google can help you too when you're looking for looking for pollinators. It's not rocket science. We're not bolting a wing on the space shuttle here, but you do need a couple of pollinators to help get going.
You know what I say? I say we get a couple of those trees. We
Outside?
haul over to Steph's apartment, and let's not ask the landlord. Let's just start digging holes.
I'm sure they'd appreciate it. Yeah.
Listen, when you see what you get from those, I'm sure they would.
Oh, you get a lot of fruit. And I wish we could do tropicals, the oranges, the lemons, the limes. That all comes in December, January time down south. But it's just we're just way too cold.
Any luck? Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy idea. Any luck of doing that kind of stuff at tropical indoors?
You can if you have the space, if you have the lighting. Where we lose it usually is how dry it gets in the wintertime. In a greenhouse, you can control those conditions. Inside your living room, it's tough to get a humidifier going that can keep the relative humidity, between 40 and 60% for a lot of these trees.
Yeah.
I've tried limes a couple of times, and it's one of the only things I couldn't do it.
Maybe that's the one thing I will be able to grow.
Yeah.
Well, give it a shot.
Yeah.
Keep it in the bathroom. The steam from the shower.
There we go. Yeah.
Just have to have the light then.
Yeah, absolutely. McLean, this is fun.
Yeah.
What are we doing next week?
I think we're going to get into stuff for Mom for Mother's Day. And we're also, the next topic, we're going to be dealing with mulching and, how to keep your gardens weed-free, that kind of stuff. So we're kind of debating which one to run next week. I think we'll run the one for Mom next week on Thursday, and then we'll come back to that one the following week.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Time right now, 9:36. When we come back, we are unraveling the details about an upcoming event that is so good.
Yes, you don't want to forget either that you can watch us live. We're streaming on the go right now. If you're in your car on 190 and watching us, look at the road.
Turn us off.
Turn us off. But if you're not, we're streaming on the 13 Wham YouTube channel.
9:39, welcome back. This weekend, the Parenton Quilt Guild is celebrating their 50th anniversary with a special show that is bringing color and creativity to the community.
Yeah, the show's going to feature over 250 quilts on display, some of them here, including pieces that span 5 decades. Truly remarkable. For more on that upcoming event and how you at home can take part, we're joined now by the president of the Parenton Quilt Club, Sibby Falk, the founder and first president of the Guild, Gail Mazer, and chairperson, Patty Pizzicato. Thank you all so much for waking up. We really appreciate this.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Absolutely. We've got to dive right in because what you have here on display is absolutely gorgeous. Take us through what these pieces are and what it took to make them.
Well, this is a sampling of the different kinds of quilts that we make. This is a coat, so some of our members make coats. This is applique. This particular quilt was made by our entire guild. It's a raffle quilt, and for $1 and a dream, you can purchase a raffle ticket this Saturday, and this could go home with you.
Love that.
$1 and a dream.
This is an actual coat.
This is a coat. Yep. And
it's too pretty to wear. I'd be so worried that I'd
That you'd
spill
get something on
it.
Oh, I wear it all the time, and as my friend says, it's a lot of look.
It's gorgeous. What goes into making pieces like this? This one, I don't know. This one, is this the most intricate one? It just seems like all of the appliques on it, that would take hours and hours.
Yep, it's wool applique, and it was a joy to do, but it took a lot of time.
Yes, it does. I believe it. All right, so tell us about the Guild. 50 years, which is remarkable. Tell us about the community that's been built.
Well, Gail.
Well, 50 years ago was the bicentennial of our country, and there was a resurgence of a lot of the handicrafts that had died out. And the town of Parenton had offered quilting classes, and so there were about 12 of us that started this and absolutely loved it. Back then, we didn't have any rulers, we didn't have any rotary cutters, we didn't have any mats. Everything was done by hand. We cut out the patterns by hand. We sewed everything by hand. We got finished with a class, and we were so in love with it that we decided we needed something to keep us going. So this is how the Guild started. So we meet twice a month when we've been doing that for 50 years.
Exactly.
Wow.
Wow.
Twice a month with a full program. And one of our challenges for the quilt show is taking a picture book. And this is by local author Kathleen Blasey, the story of Jose Taylor, who used to play the saxophone at the Rochester Public Market. And he kept playing when it rained. So I took her image and created a quilt, which a lot of the quilters are doing, which you'll see in the show. And Patty, tell us more about the show.
Well, the show is out at the Parenton Recreation Center, and we'll have 250 or more quilts. And we're setting it up, and we'll have vendors there and chances to win our opportunity quilt, which the proceeds will go to the Parenton Historical Society. And it'll be just a lot of fun, a lot of camaraderie, and a nice day out.
I'm wondering, do any of you have any of the quilts that are from that first year still?
Yeah, we do.
And are any of them going to be on display?
Yes. They're going to be hung around the walking track.
Up above.
So we'll have
and it'll be quilts
from all 5 decades hanging.
Oh, wow.
That's remarkable.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And for somebody who's sitting at home thinking, I've never even considered quilting before as a hobby, I've never given it any thought, what's a good way for them to get started?
Oh, come join us in the Guild. We've got members who do complicated things like this, and we've got members who are just beginning, and we find that we're a very supportive, inclusive group.
Oh, I believe it.
This one, who did this one? This one is just as gorgeous,
This
too.
was done
That's
by
the entire Guild.
Yeah.
This is the same as this one over here.
Yeah,
Okay,
so it
okay,
just
okay.
has an umbrella
It's a
of
queen
rainbow.
It's a queen size quilt, and it's
What an incredible task.
So we had a committee that designed it, and then it was packaged up, and different members of the Guild did the blocks, and then it was machine quilted.
Wow.
And so how many hours did it take collectively for something like this? Any guesstimate?
What's time?
What's time?
Exactly.
What's time?
Yeah.
It's a labor of love.
Yes.
So.
I'm sure.
I've been asked that a lot. How long does it take you to make a quilt? And I don't know.
No?
One of the things that all three of us love is that all of the people that we love sleep under quilts that we've made.
Correct.
That's a wonderful feeling.
Oh, that is really
I
sweet.
love that.
And then we give them, I give them away. I think we all give
Yes,
them away. And people who get them really, really appreciate them.
How many quilts do you think you have made individually over the course of your time quilting?
Well, in 50 years, I've made hundreds.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
We do a lot of charity work, so a lot of our quilts get given to Strong, get given to nursing homes as comfort quilts, NICU quilts. So we can all say that we've made dozens and dozens over the years.
And we are so grateful that you've decided to gift these to us right here. There's the door, ladies. Enjoy your day. We'll just take these off your hands. One more time for somebody sitting at home. When, where, and is there ticketing information? Do they need to register or just show up?
You can just show up. It's at the Parenton Recreation Center. It's in Fairport on 1350 Turk Hill Road, and it's from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, May 3rd.
Excellent.
Please join us.
Ladies, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. And of course, we'll put all that information for you on foxrochester.com.
9:45. Stick around. When we come back, we are celebrating a special national day that you might not want to tell your boss about.
More coming up after this.
All right, 9:48. Welcome back. Mark and Steph are back with us now because this morning we're celebrating a very special national holiday.
Is that for real? A national holiday for everything. Today is National Call-In Sick Day. And unfortunately, as you can tell, we didn't take part this year. I know. What are we doing here?
But we did ask you on social media to send us your worst or best excuses that you've used to call out of work. So I guess we're going to start
Are these ones that, from your tease yesterday, these are ones that people gave us?
You never sent me the ones that you got.
Oh, I'll pull them up then on my phone when we start reading this.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we'll start with some of the worst excuses to call
There he
into
goes.
work.
He's got it.
The first one, my cat is too clingy today.
That's
pretty bad. I like it.
Well, kitties get clingy, especially when you're going for the door. Ours don't.
I feel like
Mine
the
push me
boss
out
would
the door.
say, okay, yeah, get here now.
Yeah. That's not acceptable.
I think there would be a long pause.
We should do a 1 to 10 of acceptability. That's like a 1.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's like a 1.
I forgot it was Monday.
Well, How good was the weekend?
Let me tell you, this is an excuse. When I used to produce in college, we have to wake up at like 7, 6 in the morning to go produce the show. This is what students would tell me. You're overseeing 50 students who tell you this. It's the worst thing. We obviously pivot and we don't judge, but
Oh man, as a teacher, I totally judge. When they email me like 15 minutes before class starts and they're like, oh, X, Y, and Z, I'm like, you are annoying.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Yeah,
usually.
that's not a good one.
No. Okay, what's next? I dropped my phone in the toilet and can't Google directions to work.
Must be a remote worker.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't flush.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Somebody on social media said, oh, well, that's very nice, Ruth. Ruth on social media said, why come to work when you can come to us? We love watching you guys in the morning. We watch you all the time.
Ruth.
Oh,
great.
Nice.
Ruth, that was great, but you failed the assignment.
Did we get any others on social media?
Yes, I gotta go through.
I'm
It's
stuck.
posted on several
I'm
platforms.
stuck in my own driveway. You know, that would work in Lake Effect Snow Buffalo.
That happened
right?
to me.
Well,
Right?
stuff.
Yeah, it did. And
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to get out of work, but
Yeah.
Well,
it was terrible.
You didn't. I came in.
We do live
Yes.
in Western New York, so that one is higher than a 5 on the acceptability level.
In my old station, I mean, just an unprecedented amount of snow for all of the years that I worked
Buffalo
there.
area.
Buffalo,
Yeah.
And if you got stuck in the snow, they would send crews out to go pick you up.
No way.
Yeah, like what I did for you that one morning, that was like every single day. We'd have like a couple people write in and they'd say like, oh, whatever, I'm stuck in Lackawanna.
Yeah.
And off the photog would go to go pick them up. And it was
Did you ever turn it into a live shot? Because we did that when I was in Buffalo.
The Snowmobile Club here picked up our former chief meteorologist, Bill Peterson, and brought him into the station on a snowmobile once.
How nice.
Yep.
Do we have footage?
That was way back.
Probably out there.
Somewhere.
Another person on social media said, "Death became me," and just that. That's all.
boy.
That's all we're using. Another
that's gonna slow you
didn't
down.
want to share Joan because she was hoping this was anonymous, but we can see your profile, so we won't continue to read that one, Joan.
I accidentally got on a plane. I had a student.
I hate it when that happens.
I had a student once that came in on a Monday after missing a test on a Friday. Said, "I'm sorry I missed your test for weather. I crashed my plane."
And you said, "Oh my gosh, we had that on the news yesterday."
I was working that Friday night, and the front landing gear didn't come down, and on Scott's plane, and he's. Technically, it's a crash landing, although everything was fine. I'm sure it was nerve-wracking, but I can see the plane thing working if it's the right circumstance.
This is one Abby has used. There's a raccoon in my kitchen.
We don't have any raccoons in the house.
Chimney.
No,
Okay.
they
Yep.
were gone by the time we moved in. I don't know.
The psychic told me not to leave the house today.
Oh boy.
I
That's
could see
good.
someone actually using this.
Yeah.
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 I overslept because I was dreaming I was already at work. That's good.
And those are the worst dreams.
That's
Those are
good.
the worst dreams.
A newsmare.
Yeah.
That's great. I never thought about that.
I can't find matching socks. Thumbs down.
Yeah, not good.
Get over it.
Nope.
I'm too upset about my favorite show ending.
Oh. I would say no. Because
Maybe
if
the
it's your
Super Bowl.
favorite show, it's probably other people's favorite show, and the best remedy for that is to commiserate about the show ending.
I'm too sunburned.
Oh,
that can happen.
That's for real.
Are you in the hospital?
You need level 3 for
I
Abby
should
to
be.
make this one work.
When my father set himself on fire and should have been at the hospital, he didn't. He went to work, finally went to the ER at the end of the day, and they were pulling material from his pajama pants out of the wound on his leg.
No.
What did your dad do for a living?
UPS.
Yeah.
That's Lloyd
That is
Schrack.
insane.
That's Lloyd Schrack.
I couldn't imagine hopping up and down on that vehicle.
No.
Yeah, right? We're running low on time. I have to wait for the plumber. He said he would be there between 8 and 2. I like that. I threw my keys into the toilet and flushed. I like that.
No, my kids. My kids.
My
were
kids.
blaming
Oh.
it on the
I
kids.
think,
happen.
yeah, that's,
That can
yeah.
definitely
Or I did it.
Yeah.
We had someone who worked here for a very short period of time who, during a winter storm, tried to call out because it was too slippery. Couldn't come into work. Do we still have news today? Because it's too slippery.
Western New York.
Yikes.
Yeah.
All right.
We got to wrap.
I lost my voice. We do have to wrap. Stick around. When we come back, this morning's final thoughts, and we'll continue these.
We're back after this. on ARC Rochester.
We had a lot of good stuff this morning.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know that we can pick them all out.
Happy 2-year anniversary.
Oh, thank you very much.
Would anybody like an elephant ear?
Yes.
Please.
All right. These guys are ready. Look at this.
They're pretty.
Take them out of there. Let's see what they
Get
look
one of
like.
these out of here.
We've got a second. Whoa.
One's ready.
Oh my
Look at that.
goodness.
Ready to go.
Look at those.
Ready
That
to
is
go.
nice.
Yep. This
Those things are so much
and
fun.
this one will be 6-7 feet tall by the end of the summer. It'll have leaves the size of your chest.
No way.
Steph, take it home.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is this? Is this
It's an elephant
It's a
ear.
bulb. It's an elephant ear, but it's ready. It's ready to jump in a pot, and then you bring them back in. You can't let them freeze, so you have to. If you put them in the ground, you can leave them in the ground until November. But if you have them in pots, you definitely want to bring them in.
It's the
before
difference
October.
between an annual and a perennial.
Yep. There's a lot in here. I'll have to sort through it.
Only thing I've kept alive.
Yeah.
It's
The elephant ear?
Yes, it's doing very, very, very well.
And she's only had it for 2 weeks.
I have never overwintered one and let it go all. I usually cut them down in the fall
Yeah.
and bring them in, but like this. So.
That does it for us here on ARC Rochester. Make sure to wake up with us again tomorrow starting at 4:57. Where are we at that time of day?
13 Wham ABC.
Right.
You can join Steph and Mark there later today for 13 Wham News at midday.
Bye.